Good morning, everybody, and welcome back. It's about 5:45 in the morning right now. Just about ready to hop in the truck and head to the tent. Good old Minnesota. You either have road construction to deal with or icy roads. It's just going to be me up at the tent this weekend. Melissa is having my daughter Sarah, my daughter Emily, and my daughter-in-law Samantha over for kind of a girls' night up at the farmhouse. And Zach was going to come up and be at the tent, but it sounds like it might be kind of rainy this weekend. I'm not sure. It keeps changing, and it wouldn't be worth it for him to drive up for just one night if it's going to be raining. My dad is already up at the folks' cabin. He just texted me and said it's 37 degrees there right now. Definitely need to mow the grass. I just went, before I even opened up the tent, I ran over to my folks and seen how my dad was doing on that back deck and stuff, and my gosh, the mosquitoes will about kill you.
No, for sure what I was going to even do, you know.
Right, that would have been tough because they come in two parts to get it up and held, and
yeah, there was no way to haul it. So
everything looks good in here though. Well, I brought the towels back up that Melissa had me bring back, and she washed them. Let's see here. Well, for food this time I brought up some more vegetables. I still have room for some, so I did do that. I brought up 2 smaller pork steaks. I brought up chuck steak, and then I brought up some of them hamburger patties. I've got hamburger buns here, so I'm only going to be here for a couple of days. So I didn't need to bring all that much. Of course, I brought potatoes. I'm looking forward to a baked potato. I brought an onion. And some aftershave because I did not have any up here last time when I shaved. I think I'm going to start mowing the grass. It takes me a couple hours to get it done when I mow all the way down the driveway and stuff. This is the mower that, I don't know if you guys last year bought the snow blower for the farmhouse, and they had this sitting out on the road that people did for free, so I grabbed it. I wasn't going to at first, and I did. It's self-propelled, and it works, so I brought it up here. Better than pushing one that's not self-propelled. Just ran out of gas, so I think I'll get lunch going. It's 11:45 right now anyway. Gonna make up a couple of burgers on the gas grill out there. Okay, I'm hungry and that looks good. Well, I looked at a couple of the cameras and there's nothing really worth looking at. No cool animals or anything.
Morning, young fella.
Everything is mowed. I guess that takes a lot longer than 2 hours like I thought. Oh, I cleaned all the weeds and the raspberry bushes and the little trees that were growing out of the raised bed garden. I don't do much at all for growing vegetables in here. I've done it before, but you get small tomatoes and everything is small because it's a short growing season. It's zone 2 up here and this is not in a very sunny spot. There's trees everywhere. But one thing that does grow good is herbs. Right there is oregano. Over here I have chives. And down here I have thyme that's growing. And every couple of years I'll pull all the weeds out from behind and in front here of the daylilies. These are some of my mom's right here, my mom's originals. I've got some over here that were my grandma's originals. And down here I even have some tulips growing right there. When I first put the tent in here, there was one little rose bush, one of these wild roses right here, that was growing in that corner, and I just let that grow. And now, look how it's spread out after all these years. I keep mowing them back or they'd be all over here. And they will bloom later on. I saw over here when I was mowing, I've got a lady slipper growing right here. I've got another one right here. 2 more over here. I didn't even notice these over here. That's a nice little bunch of them right there. I wanted to mow more of that, but that's all blueberries. And every year now I just keep them and then I can pick them just right around August, end of July. They'll be all over the place in there. I noticed that the Norway pines, or the red pines, I have several of them up here, and they're all starting to die off. They must be at the end of their life cycle. was hoping to find a calm spot on the lake, but I don't think it's going to happen yet tonight. The wind is dying down, but not very fast. I think I'll head back to the tent. I was over there, I had a couple of really, not one that I was coming in where it hit hard and then it came back and hit it again, but it wouldn't grab it. And then I had one where I brought it almost up to the boat and it was a little one that hit it, but otherwise it's pretty dead. It's about 7:30 at night right now. They're still talking about rain tomorrow. I think that the chances went down. They're also talking some sunshine, so we'll see what it's like. I'd like to come out here in the morning if it's nice and do some fishing and maybe try it again in the afternoon. I think I'm going to grab myself a beer. We'll let those coals get hot and those potatoes cook for a little bit. And I'll throw on those 2 smaller pork steaks. Well, the pork steaks are done. The potatoes still need a few more minutes. And I need to get a vegetable ready anyway. Okay, everyone, it's dinner time. It's 57.6 outside and 66 in here. It's supposed to get down to 49 tonight. I'm getting kind of chilly. It's the first day of summer, and I'm going to have to start the wood stove. I just looked at my phone and now it says it's going to get down to 45 tonight. Okay, everyone, well, it's just after 11 o'clock and I'm going to bed. It's nice and toasty in here. Still a little chilly outside. There's a little bit of a breeze still coming off the lake. Hopefully the rain will hold off tomorrow. We'll have to wait and see. Well, I've been out of bed now for almost 3 hours, just kind of watching the sunrise. I was really hoping that it wouldn't be windy, but that wind is still pretty strong. I do think I'll hop in the boat and let's go see if we can find a calm spot and see if any fish are biting. That's a nice eater right there. I'm gonna have to keep him. Wow. I thought maybe this little kind of an open hole right there might be an awesome spot since it gets sun so early. But no luck over here. My dad just called me and he's outside working on the barbecue area on the back deck and a deer was swimming across the lake. I just checked the temperature of the lake, and it's 65 degrees right now. I think I'm going to jump in my truck. Last time I talked to George, he told me of a spot. I don't know, it's a ways away, but people drop off brush and stuff, and there was a couple of rock piles, and I wanted to look at that because if you want to get rocks for anything, usually you have to go to a gravel pit, and this place is closer. Lots of good rocks here for a fire pit or whatever. I actually need some at the farmhouse. I think I have 10 rocks and I need like 18 to make a fire pit, so this wouldn't be a bad place to come and get them. But right now I'm more interested in this. This is perfectly good birch firewood right here. People just drop stuff off here and then eventually they have a great big burn here to get rid of it all. I'm gonna grab some of this. Holy crap. This stuff over here is too punky. It's already rotted too far. There's some over there that might be good also, but I'm pretty full right now. I'm gonna stop over here at the folks' place and show my dad the free firewood.
Under here.
Oh, I see.
So you just go let that it looks something like that, but
Yeah, that'll be nice.
yeah, and this post there's a head. I gotta cut that at an angle, you know, just hit the top of that.
Oh, I just spent about 45 minutes talking to Dad. Now let's go back to the tent. I'd say there's enough there for one of the deer hunting weekends. Keep that wood stove going the whole time. Probably a little more than I would need even for that. It's about 11:30 right now. I do want to go back there and see if any of the other wood was any good and maybe pick up a couple of the bigger stones. But it's getting kind of close to lunch, so I think I'll wait for just a little bit.
Up when I told you to.
I suppose you're all right.
I did not see any more wood that was good there, but I got enough rocks for a fire pit, so that was good. Let's see what the boat landing looks like when it's not covered with ice. It doesn't look quite so far across to those narrows over there, which is kind of my halfway point when there's not ice on the water. Every winter after the winter trip, when I'm driving down this little road out to the tar road, I'm always still freezing because the truck hasn't warmed up yet. I was just looking online to see what there's some other plants out there next to the lady slippers that we've seen yesterday, and they look kind of like a lady slipper, the leaves do, but they're a little bit different, but the flowers are totally different. And I'm looking this up and I did not know, I mean, I knew that the Minnesota state flower is the lady slipper. I did not know that it's illegal to pick the flowers, to dig them up, to like transplant them or anything. So these beautiful little flowers here, since 1925, are illegal to cut, to move, to do anything with. What I was trying to look up is you can see that these leaves have creases in them like this, and right next to it here these don't, but they look very similar. But they have a much more dainty little flower. I should clarify that in the state of Minnesota, although it's illegal to transplant or cut any of the lady slippers, it's the pink and white version that's the state flower. It's called the showy lady slipper. Pretty cool though. These plants can live to be 100 years old. Labrador tea in full bloom. All these pretty white flowers, they're called bunchberry. The fruit is edible, but it's super gross. What I'm doing right now is we get all these trees that seed themselves here in front of the tent. So when they're little, sometimes I'll, like when they're this big, or I'll give them a couple years, I'll mow around them, and then they're real easy to transplant here because the ground is so rocky that the roots are pretty close to the top, you know, especially when they're young. And then I plant them behind the tent because otherwise, 5 years from now, this tree is going to be blocking the view of the lake, and there's no reason to just mow it down and kill it when I can just go plant it in the unmowed part behind the tent, and we can enjoy watching them grow back there. When I originally put the outhouse in, this balsam over here was already there, but there wasn't one on the other side, so I then went ahead and transplanted this one so there would be one, you know, kind of equal on each side. This one here, though, was probably as tall as me at the time. I transplanted this one using one of the skid steer, so that's a little bit bigger, bigger than the ones I'm planning right now, but same general idea. Well, let's run out, see if we can't catch another fish, or at least find a calm part of the lake and do a little bit of fishing. I need to pull the boat up and everything. It's definitely supposed to start raining overnight. It'll be raining in the morning, and I'll be heading home in the morning, so I don't want to have to be picking everything up in the rain. That's kind of a pretty little point. I was just driving around here. I've walked up here in the wintertime. I don't think I've ever come up here in the summer. And it looks like somebody definitely must have camped here before, because a couple of pieces of split wood there. A couple of pieces over there too. It actually would be kind of a pretty little campsite. Oh, there's a bunch more lady slippers here too. It's weird because I never really look for them, and now this time I am, and I'm seeing them everywhere. Huh, this is what I come up here looking for. At one time this was a managed campsite. This would have been one of the DNR toilets right here. But this one doesn't have any fire grate that I see anywhere. That's so weird. I've been coming up here since 1980, when these campsites like this would have been still maintained, and I still never remember ever seeing anybody camped over here. Definitely another place I'm going to bring my metal detector at and just check that little area out. I'm going to flay up that fish, and then it'll be time to start the barbecue. I think tonight I'm going to cut up some potatoes and put them in foil and add some mushrooms in there, onion, and these are cattail, and these bottom parts of the stalk are really good. They kind of have a cucumbery, watermelony, slight taste. They're real good for you. They're just a good wild edible to know. I know I have videos on it. Only the white part is about all you can get. It gets pretty stringy. But you see, I can still pull this off and get up inside and get more of it that isn't stringy. For those of you that see my finger wrapped up this weekend, I got into an argument with my utility knife at work last Monday, and the utility knife won. Stupidity is what it was, but it isn't too bad. I just wanted to keep it from opening back up again. It was bad at the time, but it's not bad now. I can't wait for the new potatoes to be done in the garden. Nothing like the fresh grown potatoes. It's been a long time since I ate cattail. It's good stuff. A little bit of olive oil. Some canned butter. Put some seasoning salt on here. Let's put a little bit of Creole seasoning on here to give it just a tiny bit of heat. Putting some stinging nettles on here. It's not a spice at all. I have seasoning salt on here. You won't even taste it in there. It'll change the color, but it's just super good for you. And this is just dehydrated stinging nettles. I can't believe I forgot to put the mushrooms in there. Oh well. Get that start cooking. Let's get that steak ready. I'm going to cook up this chuck steak. Chuck steak is cheap. It's probably the best tasting steak that there is, but it's chewy. I can't believe I forgot those mushrooms on the potatoes. And how cool would it have been? I could have went out to that raised bed garden over there and grabbed oregano and put in there. Chives would have been good. I definitely want to take a shower tonight. I'll leave in the morning from here and go to the farmhouse and see Melissa. And we're going to have lunch together before I head down to the hobby farmhouse. every time I post a video on either of the channels when I'm up here at the tent, as soon as I'm going to do the shower, then I get the comment, don't you have a pump and why don't you use it? And I do have this pump here. It works fine. If you guys watch the videos way back when I put it in, the water tested it. It tests fine. But up here, this isn't actually the iron range area, but we're very close. There's a lot of iron in the ground here. And you know, you get 150 miles from here or whatever, and they have iron ore mines. Anyway, the water is fine, but it's very hard water, and it's iron stained. So, like the water I bring up from home is pretty much crystal clear, where this will have kind of a reddish brownish tinge just a little bit. So I like to use this if I'm up here for a long period of time, which I haven't been up here for a long time for a while, but there was a time before when I was up here for 28 days straight. And something like that, this comes in nice because, you know, you're not replenishing your water. So, but otherwise it's so easy. It takes me 5 minutes. I bring home the empty containers, I fill them up with the garden hose, throw them in the truck, and bring them back up. I don't know if you can see it, but definitely some darker clouds are coming this way, and that's where the storms and the rain comes from. When you have water heating up on this, or you're running this stove, or if you've got the oven going, this is where you find out, like on a night like tonight when the mosquitoes are horrible outside right now, you find out how tight the tent is, and it's pretty good because the mosquitoes love the carbon dioxide that this is putting off. And I remember a time when the tent wasn't very tight and I ran this thing and you were just getting eaten alive in here. I don't see any mosquitoes in here now. I have a 911. I'm almost out of AA batteries here, and I usually keep a pretty good supply of them. This camera only took pictures up until, I don't know what it was, June 7th maybe, and then it stopped. So I'm thinking maybe it was the batteries. I turn it on right now. It looks like a full battery, but it only stays on for a couple of seconds and then it shuts off. So to me that's probably means it needs new batteries. Yep, it stayed on. Awesome. There's no way I'm going to be able to eat that much. Okay everyone, it's time for dinner. Okay everyone, well it's 11:06 at night. Everything is pretty much cleaned up here. I'm heading for bed. I'll see you guys in the morning. Good morning everybody. I've been up for a while now. It was lightly raining, now it started to rain a little bit harder. I'll wait for a little while before I head to the farmhouse because Melissa sent a message to me at 1:46 in the morning saying she was just getting into bed then. I don't want to get there too early and wake everybody up. It's really coming down now. I just decided to edit this shorter Backwoods Cabin episode 30 video just to waste some time. It's only 16 minutes after 7 right now. I really don't want to leave here till 8. Okay everyone, well we are up to the Backwoods Cabin. If you actually are... Well, Melissa texted me, she's awake, so she's wondering where I'm at. So I better hit the road. It'll still be 8 o'clock before I get out of here. I think I have everything cleaned up now. Everything's packed out in the truck. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. I'll see you guys on the next video.